Now, people have been asking for this ever since FMS released the FCX10 LC80, and FMS have finally delivered. We've got the brand new FCX10 with a fully licensed Toyota Land Cruiser LC80 body. I think this thing looks really cool. In this video, we're going to basically compare this to the original FCX10 so we can see what the differences are between the previous K5 Blazer and this new LC80. We'll give it a full overview and then we'll get it outside and see what it actually performs like. So first off, let's check out the body. Now, it is a Lexan body, not a hard body, which is a bit of a shame, but I can understand why they've done it. You know, keep the cost down and obviously save a bit of weight over a hard body. It is a nice looking Lexan body though. We've got lots of nice scale details. You've got your snorkel, you've got mirrors, you've actually got moulded door handles, which are really nice. You've got all your Toyota badges and everything on there. You've got a nice big roof rack there with LED lights. On the back, we've got our ladder, we've got our light covers, we've got our Toyota badge. You do actually have a full scale interior on this one, and it comes with a driver. Now, the driver looks like he's seen better days. Don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, so, I mean, it's cool that it comes with an interior, but I think sometimes I'd probably rather they didn't put a driver in there, so you could just put your own driver in there, because, yeah, he's a bit of a funny looking bloke. On the front, you've got your lights, you've got your Toyota grille, you've got this front bumper, but you can actually change the front bumper. In your bag of goodies, you get this nice, meaty plastic front bumper, which obviously then you could stick on the front, which I'm going to be fitting that because I think it looks much nicer than the front bumper that comes on there. You've got some nice scale details on that interior. You can see you've got your stickers there for your dials and everything for your stereo. Obviously, you've got your gear stick and everything. You've got your center console. I do quite like the fact that they've put on these kind of sticker seat covers as well. You know, just gives the interior a bit more detail, which is really, really cool. You can see you've got loads of room in there if you wanted to put like additional figures or accessories or stuff like that. You've got these new 1.9-inch wheels with the same tyres that came on the K5, the Super Marshers. These are actually pretty decent for a ready-to-run tyre, to be fair. They do come vented. Now, the wheels are just kind of fake beadlocks. They're not proper beadlocks. And the tyres are glued on, so you're not going to be able to change them over unless you want to chuck them in the oven. You know, I quite like the tread pan on these. I've ran them on the K5 quite a lot, and they've actually got pretty decent grip, to be fair. You've got your sliders here as well on the side, which obviously hold your body in. And this body actually has a new mounting design system. You've basically got a clip here on the front, and then you've got a clip here on the rear, and effectively all you do is just turn it and then your body just lifts off. They're using the same magnet design there for all the LED lights and everything which they use on the K5, so you've got your light module up in there as well. Now, the model itself is rated as splash proof, and that's mainly due to that light module, but in my experience you can get them wet without any issues. You know, the wires are all nicely tucked up in there and everything, all nicely wrapped and everything, so that's really cool. You can see how easy it is to get to the interior if you did want to take it off and then obviously chuck some extra details in there. You can also see that body mount design on the front there. It's effectively just clips that attach onto the chassis. And you can see the actual body mount design. This is the piece that basically pushes in and out. And what happens, if you can see, when we turn underneath, those little pieces basically just move in and out. You know, nice and simple design. This is actually like their new patented design. It'd be interesting to see how this holds up to some rollovers. I know people complained about the previous body mount design on the K5. I didn't have any problems with it, to be honest. You just needed to pull it off and chuck it back on again. But yeah, obviously this one should be much easier. It's like a quick release. Now, in terms of the chassis, it comes pre-installed with fenders, which is really, really nice. You can see you've got your 550 32-turn motor. You've actually got a different ESC and receiver versus what was in the K5. This one is actually just a 6-channel, whereas the one in the K5 was an 11-channel, I think it was, which was just crazy. You can see the ESC comes with an XT60 connector. Now, you don't get a battery or a charger or anything included. You do need to supply those yourself. And you'll notice we've just got one micro servo up here as well, because it does still have a 2-speed. We do still have the space there for the other 2 micro servos, which is what comes in the original K5. You've got your battery tray here in the kind of the middle. You've got some really nice Velcro straps. They do a really good job of holding the battery in. On the rear, you can see those magnet mounts, which is obviously for all of the LED lights. So underneath, you've got a metal chassis. You've actually got metal forelinks on the front and the rear. You've got plastic drive shafts, but they actually have metal cups on the end. You've got metal steering links on the front with a 25 kilogram waterproof steering servo. It does actually use the same axles as the K5. However, as you can see, these ones are actually straight axles, not portal axles, whereas if you look closely, it does look like you could basically swap them for portals if you wanted to. You can actually see on the front there, that's the hole where the locking diffs would have been on the K5. It's a shame they haven't just put a plug or something in there, because obviously you're going to get water and grime and stuff like that. So yeah, I would probably suggest putting something in there to like plug it or something. It does actually have adjustable metal oil-filled shocks at the box. These ones are actually 2 separate springs. If I just lift that spring up, like, you can see it separates. The only thing I have noticed is just having it on the bench, it does seem a little bit stiff out of the box. So I might wind them up all the way and just see if that gives us a little bit more movement. You know, what we might do is we might hit the trail with it as it is. We'll see what the movement's like, and then we can wind them up and see if it's any better. So let's see what the body's like going back on. Okay, yeah, it's not bad. Just give it a good push down, and then obviously just tuck your body back inside the rails, and then job done. So let's check out what else comes in the box. So you get a bag of goodies. Let's see what comes in there. So you got that front bumper. You've got a hat if you want to stick that on the driver in the FMS yellow. You get some stickers and some number plates if you want to stick those on there. You actually get a bag of the light buckets and the lenses. You get your wheel wrench tool and some little Allen wrenches in there, the screws. That's obviously to put the 2 lights just on the middle there on the front bumper if you want to put those on there. They don't come with any additional LEDs with the look of it though, so it would just be the actual light buckets on there, not any LED lights. You get your instruction manual. And then you get your transmitter. Like I said, this was just a 6 channel, not an 11 channel that came on the previous FCX10. It is still a FlySky transmitter. You can see they've got the buttons for channels 3, 4, 5 and 6 on the side. You know, feels like a nice little transmitter in the hand. You know, these FlySky ones are pretty decent, to be fair. The power button again is just on the front here. And then if we pop the panel up, you've actually got what looks like dip switches there to do things like, looks like to change between forward brake, reverse, nickel hydride or LiPo, and then drag brake settings. We'll have a look and see what else they do. You've got your usual steering reverse, throttle reverse, you've got a battery warning light, and then you've got all your trims and your dual rates and everything there as well. Looks like a nice transmitter. I really liked the previous transmitter that came with the FCX10. In my opinion, it's probably one of the nicest transmitters you get with a ready-to-run model, you know, especially for the price. The transmitter itself can either run off 4 AA batteries, or you do actually have a connector here because it can run off a 2S LiPo battery. It's not included, obviously you need to supply your own batteries, but you know, it's pretty cool that you could run it off a 2S battery if you wanted to. Now the rig itself can either run off a 2S or a 3S LiPo, so I'm going to run this Overlander 3S LiPo in mine. Now the power switch to turn it on is just tucked up in here. It is a waterproof power switch, is good. You turn it on to 3 beeps, it knows we've got a 3S. So for your lights on this thing, you do have the dreaded indicators. Can't stand indicators on a crawler, but you have got them. To actually turn your lights on, you're just going to use the channel 5 switch here, just push it all the way forward. You've got your roof lights on there, and you've got your headlights on there as well. With those all on, you've still got your indicators. I really like the yellow lights and the roof lights. I think that's really cool. I'm glad they've done that on this LC80. It was kind of one of the highlights for me of the FCX10 LC80, all the cool lights in there, and they obviously have a nice bright and yellow, proper retro. So on the rear, it looks like unfortunately you don't have any tail lights. So effectively you've just got indicators, but unfortunately the indicators look like they're slightly too low. You know, they need to be a bit higher, and then obviously you could actually have reverse lights if you want to run it forward brake reverse. If you then go in reverse, you get your reverse lights. Now it does say in the manual that if you change to it forward brake reverse, which if we do that on the dip switch, we basically just want to pop that one down there. So then if we go backwards, as I go forwards and then brake, there's no brake lights. So I don't know what's going on there, but it seems like you only get the brake lights, or at least on mine, when you're going in reverse. I would rather have those just permanently on, so it's just like tail lights. So it might be worth just trying to mess around with the wiring to see if you could actually get them to be permanently on instead. At the front though, with all these lights on, it looks really, really cool. It's just that driver that's a little bit disturbing, isn't he? But at least people might move out your way when you're on the trail. So steering. It comes out of the box, or at least on mine, with the dual rate just kind of turned to there. So if we whack it up all the way, there you go, that's better. Now we got all the angle, much better. On the FCX10 K5, I've had no issues with the stock servo or any of the micro servos. You know, all mine have been really, really good. And to be fair, the stock steering servo isn't bad. You know, it does say it's a 25 kilogram and it's waterproof. Now, as for all the buttons on the transmitter, so basically channel 6 doesn't do anything. You can hear it beeping, but it's not actually doing anything. Channel 4 is actually for your 2-speed. Don't know if you could hear that. So that's actually to switch between first and second gear. And channel 3 doesn't do anything either. So you've actually got 2 spare channels there that, you know, you could connect a winch or, you know, whatever else you want to connect, some more lights or something like that. So comparing the two FCX10s, I much prefer the look of the LC80, to be honest. I'm more of a Toyota fan than I am a Chevy fan. They are both a 325mm wheelbase, which is 1mm longer than a TRX4. So the K5 actually comes, like I said, with this 11-channel transmitter. This one's actually got independent front and rear locking differentials. You can actually switch between front-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or you can completely lock the rear wheels for, what's it called, tank turn. There's another name for it, I can't remember it, but effectively it means you can like turn on the spot. Otherwise, you can see the overall transmitter is, very similar in its style. So you can see my K5 is pretty well used, but you can see it's an identical chassis, but the K5 does actually have a 21-turn 550 brush motor, whereas the new LC80 has a 32-turn 550 brush motor. You can see the K5 has lots of mud, but also, all your different servos there and everything for, like I said, your 2-speed, your locking diffs, your tank turn and all that kind of stuff. But the bit you're probably most interested in is portal axles. So if you can see, that's the K5, and effectively the portals are just everything after the C-cups, which is basically identical to the new LC80. So yes, you could swap over to portal axles if you really wanted to on the LC80. And on the rear as well, this is the K5. You can see the axle is identical to the LC80. And it looks to me like you could effectively just swap over the portals on the rear as well. So that's really cool that this is interchangeable if you did want to upgrade the LC80 to portal axles. And just to show you that suspension as well, so on the K5, it's actually really nice and soft. I really like the suspension movement on the K5. I think it looks fantastic. And then over on the LC80, you can see it is quite a bit stiffer. So I think it probably is going to be a bit too stiff, and we're going to have to basically wind those shock towers up a little bit. But, we'll give it a try. Now, I know the next question would be, can you put the LC80 body on the original FCX10 chassis? Well, if you can see here, the actual body mountings pieces are different, so you would need this whole section here to swap over the LC80 to be able to fit it on the K5. And if you can see my slippers there in the shot, they are awesome Mandalorian and Grogu slippers that my wife got me for my birthday. Very cozy. Okay, so we got the front bumper installed, dead easy, 2-minute job. Just make sure when you fit it that you put the mounting bracket that effectively attaches to the rear of the bumper the right way up, otherwise the bumper will sit too low. Ask me how I know that. The only thing I couldn't find is in the instructions it did say, I did read the instructions, it did say there should be a little number plate holder. Obviously we've got the number plate stickers, but I couldn't find the number plate holder, so maybe when I opened the bag of goodies, it went flying somewhere. But so hopefully you'll get that included so you can actually fit the number plate stickers if you want to. Now these light buckets here do have holes for LEDs in the back, but obviously you'd probably need to make some holes in your body and then obviously run them through. These lenses here are just blank. There's not a holder for an LED or anything like that. Shame they haven't got holders for like little 3mm LEDs or something. That'd be really, really cool. So this, I believe, is scheduled for release beginning to mid-November. And if you pre-order, they do include the bumper and the interior. I'm kind of hoping, to be honest, that they just ship it with the bumper and the interior for everybody, because it kind of makes the rig, if you ask me. This, I mean, somebody might not like it, but to me, I think it just looks so much better with this meaty front bumper on it. And as much as the driver's a bit weird looking, at least you get that interior. I'm sure you could probably cut him out or something. Okay, we got some nice gnarly rocks down here to give it a try on. We can test out the suspension and see what the ground clearance is like. You see that bumper's giving us a few kind of ground clearance issues. A little bit of rubbing on the body there as well. See if we can get up here. It might be quite an ask, it's quite steep. That's quite a climb. See what these tyres are like and see I'm just thinking about it. If we can just get over that ridge. Yes, nice. Oh, binned it. It's first rollover, body's still on though. That isn't too bad. I reckon we can probably get up there. And yeah, it survived the rollover, which was a good test. We did say we wanted to try that. Just need to get over that ridge, don't we? Oh, binned it again. Okay, come on, we can do this. Yes, look at that, very nice. To be fair, the suspension is moving more than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be really, really stiff, but it's not bad. You know, we got some flex, we got some serious body rubbing, haven't we? That's not bad. Does look cool, doesn't it? It is growing on me. I definitely prefer this to the K5 Blazer. I appreciate this one hasn't got as many features and everything as the K5, but I'm much more a Toyota fan than I am a Chevy fan. Sorry, Chevy fans. Quite surprised how much that is flexing and how much the suspension is moving. You know, like I said, when I put it on the bench, I was like, oh, that's pretty stiff, but it is moving really, really nicely. So yes, I'm quite surprised at that. It has got some lovely flex. You know, we are getting some wheel rubbing there on the body and stuff like that, especially when you're on full lock. The rear seems to be rubbing more than the front, but you know, it's not really hindering us. We are still able to like get over the rocks and everything. So yeah, that's pretty sweet, and it looks absolutely awesome. So let's try out our trail speed first gear and then second gear. You can see you got a decent pace in first gear, so let's chuck it in second and see what it's like in second. Almost binned it in second then. Yeah, it's got plenty of wheel speed in second. What I really like about this one as well is how quiet it is. Being straight axles without that portal noise, it does make a difference. Yeah, it is really nice and quiet. One thing I have just noticed is these little side strips. They're coming loose. You can just push them back on and they seem to stick back in again. They're quite a hard kind of sticker, whereas obviously the body is obviously quite flexible. So I think where it's kind of bending, it's popping them off. So yeah, some better glue might be a good idea there so you don't lose them. Sticky there. So even just in first gear, just crawling, trailing, super quiet. That sounds like a weird thing to be excited about, but yeah, sometimes rigs are so noisy, it's just, ugh, especially on video, it's just a horrible sound to listen to. See if we can get up this little bank climb. We're going to have to hop that little ridge. There you go. Decent grip on these stock tyres, to be fair, you know, they're not bad. Well, I think that did really, really well. And for a Lexan body, I do think it looks really nice. I'm sure some people can complain about the arch lines and stuff like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're always going to make some compromises with the Lexan body, in my opinion. Yes, it would have been nice to be a hard body, but like I said earlier, I completely understand why they've gone for a Lexan body, you know, keep the costs down. And, you know, they're basically competing with the Traxxas and the TRX4. In terms of where this sits in the market, you know, realistically, it's FMS's version of a TRX4 Sport. It's like the entry-level FCX10. You know, if you don't need all the bells and whistles, then go for this. If you do want all the bells and whistles with Dig, I remembered it, you know, the locking differentials, you know, four-wheel drive switching, all that kind of stuff, then obviously you'd go for the K5 Blazer FCX10. But if you just want something a bit more cut down and entry level, obviously at a cheaper price, then, you know, this is the one for you. Now, price-wise, by the time you see this video, they've probably been released. They're currently on pre-order. And they're $299 on pre-order, and you get the bumper and the interior and everything included. I believe once they come off pre-order, the RRP is going to be $349, I think it is. It's about $20 here or there off a TRX4 Sport. Now, in terms of like performance and the chassis and everything, I've been really happy with the FCX10 chassis. I've actually ran my K5 Blazer recently more than my TRX4, and it's taken a load of abuse at all the events I've taken it to, rollovers, smashing it over rocks and everything. Nothing's broken, just takes it like a champ. So it is a tried and tested decent chassis now, I would say. I was really surprised with this body as well. You know, being a Lexan, nothing's cracked, nothing's broken. You know, we had some pretty nasty rollovers on the rocks there as well. And again, we were kind of smashing it over the rocks with the axles, taking some hits. I think my only gripes would be the side stickers, you know, these little side strips. I think, you know, they need to be better stuck down, or they should have just gone for a softer sticker to match with the Lexan body so they don't pop off. And also, obviously, on those axles, I would have just plugged that hole for the axle where the diff locks were. I think leaving that open, you know, is not a great idea because you are going to get water and mud in there. And then my only other comment really would be, I think it would have been better if they'd left this with portal axles. I appreciate, you know, straight axles is more scale, but then obviously you're already making a compromise on scale by going for a Lexan body instead of a hard body. So I think if they'd left the portals on there, and then it literally would have been on par with a TRX4 Sport. Overall, I think it's a fantastic rig. If you're looking to treat yourself to a nice present for Christmas, then I think this is going to be a good buy. Or, you know, maybe you're looking to get one of your kids into their first kind of 10 scale crawler. You know, you're not going to be disappointed. You know, I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to start getting some mods in it, some accessories, roof rack, change wheels and tyres. I think it's going to look really, really cool. I'll put a link in the description to where you can purchase yours from FMS's website. If there's any Amazon links or anything like that, I'll chuck those in the description as well. With the time of year we are now, with all the Black Friday sales and Christmas sales and everything like that, I do have Amazon links in my description. If you want to help support the channel, then just use one of my Amazon associate links. You know, do your Christmas shopping, do your Black Friday shopping, and I will get like a small commission from any of those Amazon sales. Really helps out the channel, obviously allows me to grow and get more stuff on the channel. If you want to use those links, that's appreciated. I've got links and discount codes for most of the kind of main places like A-Main Hobbies. You've got Amazon Associate links. I've got links for FMS, Fair RC. We've got discount codes for like RC all-wheel drive, Little Guy racing parts, you know, loads of different things. So yeah, check them all out in the description or check out the Linktree profile in my bio. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the K5 or the LC80? I'll be honest, I can see a lot of people, I'm sure FMS will release it, but I can see a lot of people getting the LC80 body and the body mounts and fitting it to the K5 so that you've got all the bells and whistles of the K5, but with a nice LC80 body. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.